think you on the road to perdition, and here's where the road stop. Here's where the road stop. Here's where the road stop.
Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. And yeah, this is just another installment, man, or for measure the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see what's happening out here, man. This everything is being put together beautifully for the final day of wrath, man. All right, everything's being set up. You know, even the economy is already set up, man. And the elites, the super elites, they know what time it is, man. Lord Rothschild warns of big problems in 2016. This is Jacob Rothschild. It says Lord Rothschild has issued a stark warning to investors, saying that 2016 is likely to be a very difficult year for the world economy. You know, which these guys are in the know, because they're already ready and prepared to go underground and wait this shit out with their you know, armies and shit, and then come out, you know, after the chaos and destruction to establish a new world order, which, you know, they're gonna come out to meet Yahweh Shai and Yahweh Shai is gonna establish their slavery. But anyway, it says in his letter to investors, Rothschild warns, not surprisingly, market conditions have deteriorated further, so much so that the wind is certainly not behind us. Indeed, we may well be in the eye of a storm. On this basis, that's exactly where we are right now, in the eye of a storm. Yeah, and the storm is coming. Winter is coming. Rothschild highlights a daunting litany of problems, warning those who are optimistically sanguine about the US economy that 2016 is likely to turn out to be more difficult than the second half of 2015. And I'll post the link, you can read through what he had to say. But we're at that time. We're at that time where, hey man, everything is coming together, that this place is gonna blow. Right now, you had this thing with Russia. Right now, we have to understand one thing: what that whole thing in Syria was all about. It's all about geopolitics, man. It's all about the war that's going on between the two powers that the elite set up, Russia and America, and they're trying to get strategic advantage on each other, like two boxers vying for foot position, for lead foot dominance. You know, to land that big shot to take the dude out. That's all it is. Russia's looking for an opportunity to land that clean shot, and so is America, and they're trying to do it in the most efficient way possible. That's what you do. You don't go to war when your enemy is at his strongest. You undermine your enemy and you weaken him, and you take him when he's at his weakest. And that's what they're both trying to do to each other. America's trying to weaken Russia and their allies, so that when they go to war, which is a foregone conclusion, the war is easier, and vice versa. Okay, that's why they're trying to weaken each other economically. They're trying to destabilize each other's countries. They're trying to destabilize each other's allies, and so forth. And Syria was an important block for NATO and them to take out in the alliance, which is in the Middle East, because it's Iran, Syria, Hezbollah. Okay, that's and Russia. That's the strength in the Middle East. And pretty much, if they want to, Iran is the big boy out of all of them. If they want to attack Iran, it's very difficult with Syria and Hezbollah still there. So they wanted to take out Syria using a proxy army, of course, because they don't want to start the whole thing off one time. So they use a proxy army, to do it by stealth. All right, so that they can, you know, do what they normally do, get al-Assad or whatever his name out of there, so that they can start running that pipeline up, get away from dependence on Russian gas, to undermine the Russians even more, and then they can attack Iran, because they were obviously going to overturn that defense pact. But Russia stepped in and secured their occupation of Syria and strengthened their alliances, man. So pretty much now, for America and NATO, they got to do it the hard way. This is what the Lord wants. The Lord wants maximum death and destruction on both sides. So both sides are going to come into this thing strong. It's just that America is going to get the worst end of it in the end. Okay, this war ain't going to be no pushover for Russia, and it ain't going to be no pushover for America. There's going to be mass death on both sides. And the only thing they got left is to fight. Okay, the proxy wars, they're running their course. All right, now pretty much I believe what they'll try to do now that they can't do what they want to do is try to directly destabilize each other. Maybe Russia might try starting a race war in America, and America's gonna have their agents in Russia and China trying to stoke up destabilization in their countries. But ultimately, it is what it is. It's a foregone conclusion now that they just gonna have to go all in to go all out and let the chips fall where they may. Okay, because their strategy just weren't working, and Russia is doing what they got to do to weaken the dollar, and America can't afford to allow the dollar to collapse on them and to be destabilized and then go to war. You know, it wouldn't be so bad if it happened during, but it's all about entering that war in your strongest position, man. That's what it's all about. So everyone's getting backed into a corner, man. So this thing is gonna happen, man. The only thing is that trigger. All right. Now it says, just to show you that this whole pullout shit, it's all bullshit. All that's happening is Russia is they don't want to fight a continuous war, so they did enough to basically stop ISIS from destabilizing Syria, and then they're gonna be there, and Syria, they've cut off the chain of supply from ISIS, so pretty much Assad should be able to clean them up, from that point onwards. But they're still gonna be occupying Syria. It says, at the same time, Putin made it clear that Russia will maintain its airbase and the naval facility in Syria and keep some troops there. Of course they're going to keep troops there. They're going to have special forces. They're going to have what they need there to maintain that Syria doesn't become destabilized, and they have to go in and they want to keep that strategic partner there and strong. Syria's state news agency also quoted Assad as saying that the Russian military will draw down its air force contingent but won't leave the country altogether. Of course they won't. Of course they won't. Okay, if you know what it's really all about, you know that they won't, and it's all prophecy anyway. All right. Now I want to quickly mention this whole thing in North Korea, because this guy in North Korea is always talking shit, about nuclear weapons and his ICBMs. He's gonna destroy America, which whatever, man. He talks a lot of shit, yeah, but the truth of the matter is that North Korea is gonna disappear real quick in World War III. If they do have any ICBMs, on any submarines somewhere, then yeah, they'll get, them submarines will still be floating around somewhere. But North Korea itself is going to be wiped out pretty much like in the first week of any global warfare, simply because of its strategic position and its military weakness. Okay, which it's been kept purposely military weak, because the purpose of North Korea is not to be a military strong nation. China, none of them other nations are helping North Korea be strong. It's China's only supporting them from just about not imploding on itself, and there's a reason for that, which we're gonna read. It says China's key strategic priority is to prevent a major war on the Korean Peninsula, which also means preventing a North Korean implosion, because pretty much like North Korea, like they've been under so many sanctions and that they're pretty fucking weak, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the most of the people there starving and shit. It says such collapse would undermine China's geostrategic interests by removing a traditional strategic buffer provided by North Korea. This would mean that US forces would be deployed on the Korean peninsula above the 38th parallel, because everybody knows pretty much like what North Korea is. That's why America, every time an earthquake happens, North Korea did a missile test, because they really want an excuse to take North Korea out and to take North Korea, because in taking North Korea they gain a strategic advantage against China. That's why they're the ones really building North Korea up into a threat, because they want to take North Korea out. It's simple. It's strategic, man. If we get the world map up, I'm gonna show you what I mean. It's all strategy, man. Every time, a lot of the times they said these guys did this and this did that. They didn't really do shit. They're just making it up because they really want to have an excuse to go into North Korea and take over that strategic point. Just like they wanted to take Ukraine, which is another strategic point. Now, if you look at where North Korea is, okay, remember America pretty much have South Korea, and they've got Japan, right? And they got the Philippines, right? I believe maybe Burma as well, I'm not sure. So this piece of land here, North Korea, is a strategic point for access to this region for the US Army. This is why China makes sure that North Korea stays intact. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But they make sure they're not strong enough that North Korea is stupid enough to just go and start a war with South Korea, because they will lose. And then that will just open up that whole region for America. So yeah, it's all geopolitical, man. But what it means at the end of the day is that the ultimate thing that's going to happen is World War III, and no one can't avoid it. And World War III is going to be messy. See, each side is trying to make it easy. They're trying to, China and Russia and their allies are trying to weaken America and their allies to make it easy. And USA is trying to do the same thing, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, it's not going to be easy. Both sides are going to experience mass death. The only thing is that America is the one to be the biggest loser. There's a program in England called The Biggest Loser. America's going to be the biggest loser, but all these nations are going to lose. NATO is going to lose. Russia is going to lose. There's only really going to be one winner from World War III, and that's the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Everyone else is going to be taking the hella casualties all day. Hella casualties. This war, they've tried to make it easy, and it's not getting easier for any side. They're all fighting to get the advantage. The Lord ain't trying to give them no advantage. You gonna fight it out, man. Toe to toe. Alright? Let's get some scriptures, man. Revelation 17 and 11 says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. That's talking about America. And is of the 7th and goeth into perdition. So America's marching on the road to perdition, man. And all these things that are happening, these occurrences, they're all steps on the road to America's final perdition. Alright? Joel 3 and 2 says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So it's really the Lord at the end of the day is setting all these nations up, man. And the World War III is unavoidable. It's unavoidable, man. Okay, and it's going to happen, and it's they're gonna lock heads. They're gonna go head on. And it's going to be some serious death going on. It's not going to be a joke. It's not going to be, oh, Russia just rolled in and America gave up, or America rolled in and Russia gave up. They're not going to give up. So it's going to be death. This is great. The Lord wants it to be a spectacular battle, man. That's why Russia got their military armaments and America got their military armaments. You know? Isaiah 34 and 1, it says, come near ye nations to hear. Hey, because don't make no mistake, man. America's got some shit, man. I mean, if you're thinking that in this war, the Americans are just going to get rolled over like in a day or something. Listen, the Americans and NATO, they weren't the most feared fucking alliance on the planet Earth for no fucking reason. Them man still have copious amounts of fucking artillery and shit. Like, them Russians and them other nations are going to be taking some fucking heavy casualties. The only thing is that they also going to be taking heavy casualties because them other mans, they got their shit too. Everybody's got their shit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, America, they think they're untouchable, and this is the thing. They're not untouchable. They're going to get hurt real bad. They're going to get wounded up like they've never been wounded before. He said, come near ye nations to hear and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. So this war that's coming, this world war, it's going to be a complete slaughter on both sides, man. There's going to be just millions of people from both sides getting put to death, man. This is not going to be a joke. They're trying to make it easy for each other, but it's not going to be easy for nobody. It's going to be hard. You know, and all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We in that time, man. So look for